Okay, absolute value equation. Absolute value means distance from 0 on a number line. That's what those brackets mean. Okay. Well, these first few are pretty easy. You got the absolute value of -5. How far is it from -5 to 0 on a number line? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Don't put the direction you're going. You're simply counting. Okay, an absolute value should never be a negative. Okay, when I get rid of the brackets, I should have a positive. Now, in some of these problems, I might have a negative answer in the end, but when I get rid of the absolute value, it always comes out as positive. Okay, how far is it from 4 to 0? 1, 2, 3, 4. I counted 4. Don't label that -4. Even though you're going this way, okay, you don't put the direction you're going, you just put the number of miles. It's like measuring miles. We don't say negative miles, okay? So that's the thing. Okay, next one. The absolute value of -4 plus the absolute value of 8. Okay, let's get rid of the absolute values. -4 to 0, that becomes 4 and 8. 4 plus 8 equals 12. The absolute value of -2 minus 7 minus the absolute value of -13 plus 3. -2 minus 7, first off you have to simplify within the absolute values. So that's -9 and that's -10. Now eliminate the absolute values. We have 9 and 10 and we put a minus. 9 minus 10 is -1. Okay? Okay, next one. Absolute value of -4 plus 10 plus the absolute value of -12. -4 plus 10 is 6. And there I have my -12. So the absolute value of 6 is 6. Now I drop the plus sign. The absolute value of -12 is 12. 6 plus 12 is 18. Okay? So that's kind of what you're doing on this back side right here. Alright, now I'm going to flip the page over because now I'm doing something different. I'm solving absolute value equations. Okay, I'm going to use 2 boxes for a problem. Okay? The absolute value of x equals 10. Now when you're solving absolute values, you need to make a table too. Now what's inside the absolute value? Okay, the absolute value is over here and it's just x. There's nothing outside the absolute value over there, no operations outside. So where are the 2 places that you can have an absolute value at 10 where you can be 10? Well, I could be at 10 or -10. So I simply put equals 10 equals -10 and that sucker's solved. Okay? Next one. The absolute value of x plus 12 equals 2. So inside the absolute value you got x plus 12. So you put what's the inside part of the absolute value. Okay, there's nothing in front, there's no operations outside, nothing going on outside. So where are the 2 places you can be absolute value at 2? You can be at 2 or -2. Then you just solve it, okay? -12, -12, 2 minus 12 is -10. Because -10 plus 12 is 2 and the absolute value at 2 is 2. Now over here, -2 minus 12 is -14. See, that's also an answer because -14 plus 12 is -2, but when -2 comes out of its absolute value, that's 2. Okay, next one. The absolute value of f minus 6 equals 4. So inside you got f minus 6. You don't have any operations outside the absolute value, so you could be equal to 4 or -4. Then minus 6, you're going to plus 6. Remember, it's like taking a -6 to 0. You don't have to multiply or divide because f doesn't have a multiplier. You could put a 1 there if you wanted, but Dividing by 1 is kind of silly once you get to Algebra 2. 4 plus 6 is 10. Then plus 6 plus 6. Negative 4 plus 6 is 2. 10 and 2. Because 10 minus 6 is 4, the absolute value of 4 is 4. 2 minus 6 is negative 4, which has an absolute value of 4. Okay, next one. The absolute value of 3x equals 12. Okay, inside the absolute value we have the expression 3x. Nothing out, no operations outside, so I could be at 12 or negative 12. So remember that 3x means 3 times x, so we have to divide by 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Same thing going on over here. You pretty much do the exact same thing, there's just a different number over there. Negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. Okay, next up. Now the game's going to change. Absolute value of negative 3x minus 2 equals 4. Inside the absolute value you have your negative 3x. But here's the problem. You don't know what it equals because you got this minus 2 outside. So you have to get rid of that. So you add 2, and I have 6. I still have my absolute value of 3x. Now I have no more operations, so I'm ready to do 6 and negative 6. So that means negative 3 times x, so the opposite of times is to divide. So 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2. 3 times x, then we divide by negative 3. Negative 6 divided by negative 3 is positive 2. Okay, so those are your two possibilities. Next up, we got 5, absolute value 2x plus 4 equals 35. So again, the expression in the absolute value is 2x plus 4. But you got this 5. So that means 5 times. You don't do the distributive property rainbows. You can't do that. It's not a parentheses. You do the opposite of times 5, which is divide by 5. So that's 7. Absolute value 2x plus 4. So you have 7 on one side, negative 7 on the other. Okay, so over here I've got 2 times x. 2 times x. You get rid of the plus 4 first. So 2 times x, I'm cat sitting for the week. My parents are gone somewhere. I had to take this cat, okay? I'm not going to show you him in the video because then people bug me about it, okay? Then divide by 2. And now he's beating the crap out of me, 1.5. Okay? Minus 4, negative 7 minus 4 is negative 11, okay? Then you divide by 2. That's going to be negative 5.5. Okay, you just got to get rid of the operations. Okay, next one. 6, absolute value of 5x minus 2 minus 3 equals 21. So we know we have 5x minus 2 over here. Okay, so we got two operations. We got a times 6 and a minus 3. Well, I'll get rid of the minus. You got to get rid of the plus minus first. So plus 3. Now you're at 24. And then we get rid of the times 6. Not by distributing. You divide by 6. And that's 4. Absolute value of 5x minus 2. Okay, so 4, negative 4. So again, now I solve for x. So I got times 5 and minus 2. Okay. So we plus 2, that's 6, 5 dot x. Divide by 5, divide by 5. 6 divided by 5 is 1.2. plus 2 plus 2. Negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. Divide by 5, divide by 5. X is negative 0.4. Okay, next up. Negative 4, absolute value x plus 1 equals 16. So we got it times there. X plus 1 equals, x plus 1 equals. You got to get rid of the times negative 4. You would divide by negative 4. But you run into a little problem here. In all these problems, I go positive, negative. You can't go negative and positive. Your absolute value cannot equal a negative number. Well, after you get rid of the operations outside of the absolute value, if you have a negative, it's no solution. Okay? No solution. And when I look through the assignment, okay, I see one where there's going to be a no solution. Next. Got the absolute value of x plus 2 plus 4 equals 7. So I got the expression x plus 2. Okay, there's the absolute value, but there's a plus 4, so we have to get rid of that. We minus 4, and that takes our absolute value equal to 3. So we can go 3 and negative 3, minus 2, x equals 1. Minus 2, x equals negative 5. Alright, having fun, isn't this fun? 2 absolute value of x equals 14. So the absolute value is over there, but I have a 2 in front with a times. So we have to get rid of, so we have just x in the absolute value, okay? So it'll be solved once I undo the multiplication by 2. So I divide by 2, and that takes me to 7. So you could be at 7 or negative 7, and that's solved, okay? Next problem, 4, absolute value of x minus 3 equals 20. So we've got x minus 3, x minus 3. Okay, so absolute values over here. You have an operation of times 4 outside. Remember, you don't distribute that. You divide by 4, divide by 4. So you have the absolute value x minus 3 equals 5. So I could be at 5 or negative 5. So we add 3, and that's 8. We add 3. Negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. Okay, 8 and negative 2. Okay, and then I'm going to, last one of these, and then we got something interesting going. Well, not really interesting, it's annoying, but 3 absolute value x plus 2 plus 4 equals 13. So you got x plus 2. You've got 2 operations. We got a plus 4 and we got a times 3. You got to get rid of the plus 4 first. And that takes you to 9. Now you get rid of the times 3. So divide by 3. Underline each side of the equation. Just put a 3 underneath there. So absolute value x plus 2 equals 3. So you can be at 3 or negative 3. So I minus 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. Negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5. Okay. Alright, now the next part. Solve the absolute value. Check for what are called extraneous solutions. Extraneous solutions mean false solutions, and I'll explain what that is here in a bit. We did not do these in Algebra 1. Now, inside of the absolute value, okay, we have 2x minus 3. That's where my absolute value is at. You have no operations outside. On one side you put 4x minus 1. On the other side you flip these both to opposite, so the 4 goes from a 4x to a negative 4x, and the minus 1 goes to a plus 1. Now it's a little harder over here. You got x's on opposite sides, so I'm going to subtract the smaller one. Minus 2x, negative 3 equals 2x minus 1. So x is over here, so I got times 2 and minus 1. So we plus 1 plus 1. It's negative 2 equals 2 dot x. Then divide by your 2, and x equals negative 1. Okay. Now over here, 2x and negative 4x. So now negative 4x is smaller, so I would add that. 6x minus 3 equals 1. Okay. Then plus 3 plus 3. Okay. 6x equals 4. Divide by 6. Divide by 6. Now when I divide 4 by 6, I get not a very nice answer. So you keep that as the fraction 4 over 6. Okay. Now what's that extraneous solution mean? Go to the part that's not the expression, not in the absolute value. Okay. And simply put a times dot and plug that number in for x. So punch in 4 times negative 1 minus 1. You got a negative number. An absolute value can't equal a negative, so that's a false answer. Now over here you go 4 times 4 over 6, so 4abc6 minus 1. That's positive. I don't care what it is, it's positive, so that answer stays. So you plug it into the side, the other side of the absolute value. Goes in over there. Okay, not in here. Okay, next one, absolute value of 3x plus 5 equals 5x plus 2. So here's my absolute value. Within it, it has 3x plus 5, 3x plus 5. There's no operations outside of the absolute value, so on one side I put 5x plus 2. On the other side, negative 5x minus 2. You switch those both to opposite. Both terms go opposite. So 3x is smaller, I'd subtract 3x from 5x. So 5 equals 2x plus 2. So we got a times 2 and a plus 2. So we minus 2, minus 2. 3 equals 2 dot x. Then I divide by 2. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. Okay, now negative 5x is smaller, so plus 5x plus 5x. It's 8x plus 5 equals negative 2. Then I minus 5, minus 5. It's negative 7. Divide by 8, divide by 8. Negative 7 divided by 8, negative 0.875. Now, since there's a variable on the other side, you got to put that into the equation, okay? So 5 times x plus 2, so you got 5 times 1.5 plus 2. That's positive, so that stays. Now do the negative 0.875, so you got 5 times negative 0.875 plus 2. We got a negative there. See ya, okay? Now the other side, 7 parentheses 8 minus 3x equals 21x minus 49. So again, inside you got 8 minus 3x. Now you got an operation outside with the times 7, so you underline each side and put 7. So now you got the absolute value by itself. And you divide both of these separately by 7. 21 divided by 7 is 3 with x. 49 divided by 7 is 7. Now it's the same thing. 3x minus 7, and then negative 3x plus 7. So, negative 3, positive 3, they're not the same. Get rid of the minus 3x. So 3 plus 3 is 6x minus 7. So you got to times 6 and minus 7. So you add 7. 15 equals 6 dot x. Divide by 6. And that's your answer. Okay. 15 divided by 6 is 2.5. On the other side, ooh, we got the same thing, okay? Those cancel out. 8 equals 7. No, that's a no solution, okay? But you need to plug the 2.5 in, okay? Because there's an x on the other side. So you got 3 times 2.5 minus 7. Okay, you got a positive, so that stays. Okay, next one, 6. Absolute value 2x plus 5. Then the absolute value ends. I mistyped that. Equals 6x plus 24. Okay, I mistyped that. Lord, big time. Okay. Okay, absolute value inside you got 2x plus 5. 2x plus 5. Okay, outside you got to times 6, so you got to divide by 6. You got to undo the operations outside. Both these get divided by 6. So absolute value 2x plus 5. That's going to be equal to 1x plus 4. So I got 1x plus 4, and then I just shift the signs. Negative 1x minus 4. So 2 and a 1, I'd get rid of the 1. So it's 1x plus 5 equals 4. Then I minus 5. 4 minus 5 is negative 1. You can divide by 1 or just get rid of it. It's negative 1. Okay, 2 and negative 1. I plus 1x plus 1x. 3x plus 5 equals negative 4. So we'd minus our 5. Because we have a times 3 and a plus 5, we get rid of the plus 5 first. Divide by 3, and x is negative 3. Okay, so I got these two answers. Now plug it in, okay, down here. So I take 1 times negative 1 plus 4. Remember, I'm putting the negative 1 where the x is at. Okay, I got a positive, that stays. 1 times negative 3 plus 4. That's a positive, so they both stay. Okay, both of them. Okay, then the last problem. I'm not going to use boxes because it's, well, I will, just to keep it consistent. Okay. On one side, you got 1/4. Absolute value 4x plus 7 equals 8x plus 16. So inside the bracket, we got 4x plus 7. Now you got some stuff going on outside, okay, times 1/4. So we're going to divide by the fraction 1/4. So the absolute value of 4x plus 7. Now 8 divided by 1/4 is 32, because it's like 8 times 4, 32x. 16 divided by 1/4 is 64. So on one side you got 32x plus 64. On the other side you have negative 32x minus 64. 4x, 32x, well I'm getting rid of the 4x for sure. So 7, 28x plus 64. So I have a times 28, a plus 64. So I minus 64. 7 minus 64 is negative 59, okay? Actually, I'll tell you what. Let's forget that problem, okay? That I wrote that like an idiot. Okay, now on the assignment, I made a mistake on a typo, okay? I'm trying to figure out where it's at. This right here on number 9 is a minus 2, okay? So there's two equal signs, supposed to say minus 2.